Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a middle part flow haircut. So I'm starting off with 25 spray, and as you know, I've said this many times, if you don't know, 25 spray is essential to keeping your hair looking healthy, feeling healthy, combing out knots, all right? Really, really important, especially with the knots. And also I'm using my anti-static vent brush. So I'm combing through and it gets right through the tangles. It also helps keep the hair nice and moisturized. If you are a hair professional looking for something like this, a cutting tool, a cutting aid, this is really gonna be great for you. But if you do wanna transform your hair to make it look healthy, this is the way to go. So this is gonna be a haircut that, I don't know why so many of you are obsessed with middle parts, but I'm gonna do it for you. And I've done loads and loads of center part or middle part haircuts here on my channel, but I figured let's do another one, and this is gonna be the popular flow haircut. And the flow haircut, really, it's like a variation because everyone has their interpretation of a flow. A flow could be something that flows back. A flow could be something that covers the forehead and flows across. All different things. So I'm gonna do my interpretation of a center part flow haircut. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna establish my length throughout the back. Let's just raise this up a little bit here. And I'm also filming on a downward angle a bit, excuse me, so you can see a bit more and have a better angle on this. And once again, I'm just gonna do the haircut. I may talk, I may not talk at certain points. Right now what I'm doing, and this is a professional move, is I'm basically separating the front from the back so I have a clear vision of where I'm cutting, what I'm cutting, and all that. I like to always do this. So I separate the front from the back. It just gives me a good roadmap of where I'm cutting. All right, so let's start with the length in the back. And I do want to leave some length, but not like a whole lot. I'm not going to be using clippers. I can 100% guarantee you this is all going to be done by hand. But I am going to establish, a little bit of a baseline and a little bit of length. So let's go with the length about right here. And I'm just using no tension and cutting straight across. That's the best way that I like to do these types of haircuts sometimes, is no tension, not necessarily using hands to hold the hair in place, because the hair is going to fall in place naturally, right? That's what's so great about it, is you just comb it and it falls straight down, and then, we're good to go. So here we go. There's the guide from underneath, straight across, and that's it. Straight across, and then one last section right down in through the base. Right here, there it is. And I get through these haircuts relatively quickly for the most part, simply because I've done them so many times, and also because, it's the experience, right? But this isn't a rush job haircut, right? Definitely not a rush job haircut. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work right in through the sides, and I want to establish my length. That's the first thing I'm looking to do, is establish the length here. And I do want to have the hair starting off going this way. So the way I'm going to cut this is I'm going to comb this straight down. I'm standing right in front of where I'm cutting, making sure all this hair is combed down. I'm using the fine teeth of the comb to make sure I'm getting a good solid cut. And I'm going to lightly tap above the ear because the hair is going to want to jump. And I'm going to cut this way. Now I'm going to angle this going down across this way. So let's start with the face frame right in through here, angling my fingers upwards, and there we go. So I'm angling my fingers, pointing towards the sky, and I'm just creating my shape right in through here. So we do have a bit of a flow now already going from here into here. Now all this I have to layer. There's a lot of work to be done still, but you kind of get the idea. All right, now I'm going to work on this side, combing this down. And to me, I find that working on the base first, establishing, you know, the foundation is the most important. It's like building a house. You don't start with the roof, right? And I know some people, they cut that way, but to me, it just doesn't work that way. So I like to cut what works best, in my opinion. Now I'm pointing my fingers downwards, as opposed to before, I was cutting and pointing my fingers upwards. So now I'm actually doing the opposite. So it's going to allow me to work my shape upwards like this. And here's the guide from the other side. Nice to meet you. And let's bring this right down in the middle. So you all can see this. I'm combing this all straight down like so, just to make sure these are all merged together and connected well. And all right, now let's go on this side, pull all this down and forward. Okay, and we're good to go. Now, once again, the key to doing this, and I learned this from years ago when I was training with some French hairstylists. They said if you have a good foundation or a good base, you know, the client could leave the salon and have a good haircut, right? That's the whole key, is that this whole haircut on its own can be good, creating a solid foundational shape. And I spend so much time on making sure that the base is good. All right, so now let's take a look at this. There we go. We've got a good foundation of a base right in through here. And now it's time to start doing the flow, the layering, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to lower this down a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a section right here in the top back of the head, like so. And I'm going to comb it straight across, and I'm going to create my layered length. Now, the most important thing with this is to realize, like, how long is the hair in the front? So I have to go from here to connect this. Now, it isn't that much difference, so I do have a lot of room. I may end up going shorter with this. But the problem is you don't ever want to cut this too short and have this too long. It's just not going to look right. So based off of that, let's cut this to about right here. So I'm cutting all that hair off, and here is my guide and my section right there. Now, the way I'm going to do this, and I'm going to spin this mannequin around, and hopefully this camera angle is going to be helpful, where you can see overhead, is I am going to do my normal layered routine to where I comb the hair straight down the middle, like so, and I'm going to hold this straight up like this, and I'm going to look for the guide, and there is the guide right there. Okay, now I'm going to do one more side underneath like this, combing it straight up like that. And here is the one little piece right there. And there we go. So now we're going to go on the other side. And I apologize if I'm blocking. Let's turn a little bit more this way. Let's go right here on this side. We're going to try to mimic and do what we did just on the other side. There is the previous section right there. Hold on for dear life. Don't let go of this. Take a nice karate chop slice right across. There is the guide, and we're going to cut straight across. This is like the, idiot's guide, to cutting. I'm telling you. And when I say that in a good way, because or hair cutting for dummies. Remember those books, hair cutting for dummies, or whatever for dummies? The amount of Spanish for dummies, Italian for computer science for dummies. All those books are like, they dumb it down so much that if you do this technique, you will have like the best even layers. Even Steven is what we're going for. You've heard me say that a million times. I want you all to be even Steven, especially when you're getting your haircuts. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, now it's time to clean all this up. So I'm going to pull the hair straight out. There's the guide from before. Here's all that heavy hair. And guess what? Say goodbye to it because it's all coming off. Now I'm going to work my way all the way down. Here's all that weight and say goodbye to it. Now I'm going to come down lower in a second, but I want to maintain all this first because, excuse me, of my body positioning. I want to stay in this consistent body position because I don't want to throw my body over too much, like over the top. Like if you're Sylvester Stallone in that arm wrestling movie, Over the Top, you don't want to be doing that. So let's now comb this back. Here we go. And there it is. And this really is, you know, even though it seems like it's easy, this is a haircut that I think a lot of people really need to get better at and embrace and learn, because it's really just creating a 90-degree layered shape throughout the entire haircut. All right, now I'm going to do the other side. Move on from that. There's the guide right there, and we're going to cut straight up. Hold this together and cut straight up. Now I'm just taking, you know, section by section. I'm moving this around to make sure I have a clear path and vision of where I'm cutting. Hello, guide. Nice to meet you. Hello, guide, my old friend. It's like Simon and Garfunkel. Let's go. Here it is. Hold on. And, you know, if you're attempting this haircut at home on someone, you know, best of luck, because, you know, once again, I am a hair professional, and, you know, I always say do this at your own risk. However, if you do decide to take this on and you're following the steps, now I've been doing a lot more of these like in-depth, just old school haircuts, and all of you seem to love me going back to my roots, and I appreciate you if you are an OG who's been with me. Now, I've been on YouTube for 15 years. If you let me know in the comments below how long you've been watching my videos for, how long you've been a subscriber. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, but how long have you been watching my videos for? Because I have over 3,000 videos over a span of 15 years. You know, I've been on YouTube longer than some of you have even been alive, okay? So I'd love to know in the comments below, like, how many of you, or how long have you been watching my videos for? And if you're an OG, I'd love to know. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm going to comb on top, and I'm going to be cutting this corner right here, okay? I'm cutting that corner, and I'm doing that so I can get a little bit closer down in through the bottom, into the bottom down here. Notice how I've kept my body position very stable, and I'm not throwing my arms over. I'm not putting myself in a really awkward position. I'm literally just standing here. I just changed my finger position. That's all I've done to make things a lot easier. I'm also cutting on a somewhat like vertical diagonal, which gives me just a different perspective on the hair. And it also allows me to, you know, it keeps me engaged in the haircut, where I'm like now challenging myself, because I'm saying, oh, I'm now taking this on a whole different approach. So I got to really be on my A game, right? I'm not being like complacent or lazy, or, you know, it's really forcing me to be super precise and super accurate. And that's why I love doing this. Look at all this weight. So all this hair that I'm cutting right now, all of this in the bottom here, this is all just heavy, heavy, heavy hair and weight down and through here. And a lot of times, if you are getting your hair cut and you're trying to figure out why your hair is always so heavy at the bottom, it's because the person cutting your hair is not taking the time to do this, right? I literally cut all the way down to the bottom. And now as I comb this out, you can see it's got a nice flow to it, right? A really, really nice flow. And, you know, we've got that. That's why it's called the flow haircut, right? So let's go back on this side now. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a little bit of that corner, which we're going to cut right there. That's why I left this corner purposely, to make sure that I'm able to take off that length when needed. And there's just a little bit of hair right there, and that's it. So last thing, what I'm going to do is go in and check this now horizontally to make sure that we are evenly balanced. This is all looking good. Again, this is taking the haircut to another level, so to speak. Like, you know, notice how I'm being very, very thorough with all this. I'm not cutting any corners. Well, maybe quarters on the hair, but I'm not cutting any corners as far as the technical part of this. I'm really being thorough with everything, making sure it's all going to be laying properly and double checking, cross checking, all of that. It's really, really, really important. Check this side. Okay, that's good. Maybe if I got the head to be even, that would help. Okay, here we go on this side. Let's comb this. All right, let's do some checking here. Yes, this is perfect. I'm loving this. I am going to go back in and do some additional, you know, texturizing and stuff like that. And there's the corner, which I want to cut. Nice to meet you, corner, but sorry. It's time to say goodbye right there. Cool. Now watch this. This is where things really start to get interesting and fun. All right, now, and if you're wondering why I have a Band-Aid on my nose, it's because I busted my nose open and gashed it open when I was shoveling a couple days ago here in Jersey. We had, you know, somewhat bad snowstorm, but it all turned to ice really quickly. And the shovel that I have, which was plastic, is really only good for just regular snow, not ice. So I have this shovel that's got like a metal handle, metal, you know, shovel, and it's like hard. This thing alone is like 15 pounds. It's so heavy. And I was chopping down ice on the sidewalk, and there's a part of the sidewalk in front of my house, like it's like uneven, I guess. And so I went like this with one hand, and it went boom and just snapped back and hit me smack here, and the rest of the handle hit me right here in the bridge of the nose. And that friggin' hurt. I was like, damn, what the I was like, oh gosh, please tell me I didn't just gash my face open or my nose open, because that would suck. So aside from it being really sore, I was like, I don't see any blood gushing down or anything, but I was like, you know what? Since I'm chopping ice, let me put ice on my damn nose like immediately. So I sat there and I just took a big chunk of ice and put it right there on the bridge of my nose and held it just to kind of, you know, tame down the swelling, or if there was any sort of cut, just to kind of close it up as fast as possible. And I took the ice away and I was like, oh man, this is all dirty. I thought it was from dirt from like the grass or whatever. So I got like another piece of ice, put it there for like literally like a minute, and I took it off and I'm like, oh my, what's going on? I go, oh my gosh, that's blood. So I didn't realize I did gash my nose open. It wasn't gushing downwards. It just was a really deep gash. So I was like, oh God. So I continued to shovel, get the ice out. And then when I went inside, I saw and I was like, oh boy, okay. It was like a pretty deep open gash. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. So I, bandaged it up myself and put some Neosporin on it and stuff like that. I didn't get stitches. I don't think I needed stitches, but in a day or two, I'll look like a UFC fighter, but it's pretty bad. So that's why I'm wearing a Band-Aid on my nose. So, all right, now, here we go. It's time to connect the back part into the top. And the best way that I do this is I follow the contour of the head, and I just look for that connection to go vertically. And everything is perfectly blended, going this way. And I'm following the round of the head. Following the round of the head, just like that. And there we go. So now that I've made that connection going this way, it's time to start to work towards the front. Now, one thing about this mannequin I want to say is that this is the second, I believe, or third time I've used this mannequin named Jake. This is from a company called Burmax, and they really only deal with like beauty schools and licensed, big operations. And now I purchased this mannequin and a handful of other mannequins, so I didn't get any freebies, but this mannequin is probably one of the best mannequins I've used. And you've seen on my channel, dozens and dozens of mannequins. I've even suggested other brands. This company doesn't sell to the public. They really are only for professionals and schools and licensed cosmetologists and barbers and all that. So they really don't deal with big operations. Fortunately, I was able to contact them and say, hey, I want to use your mannequins. I'll buy them. But this mannequin, Jake, is such an amazing mannequin. The hair is perfect, really high quality. So I invested in getting a bunch of these. So you'll be seeing Jake here on my channel, somewhat regularly. I still have dozens of other mannequins I gotta get through, but that's who this is. And it's such a good, probably one of the most realistic mannequins. It's human hair, but probably one of the most realistic mannequins I've ever worked on. All right, so here we go. Working in through the corners now. And this is where things get interesting. So right in through here, I apologize once again, wearing a dark shirt. There is the corner that we have to cut off, and we'll go back to revisit that on the length in a second, but there it is right there. Got to get rid of that corner because we don't need that. Here it is. Boom. Get rid of it. All right, moving on. Now I'm following the roundness of the head. This is where the flow starts. The flow is going to start right in through here. This is now the sides, the actual full-on sides right in through here. There we go. Make sure you're not cutting too much of that base. And here we go in the very front. I'm going to over-direct this back slightly because of the recession right there. There we go. We want to hold on to that for dear life. And here is the front. And then go all the way down to the bottom. You want to get low. There it is. Beautiful. Now, the flow is now taking shape. As you all can see, look at the flow. There it is. Now, what I want to do is, I'm not done yet, so I'm going to come in on a diagonal section right here. And I'm just going to kind of start to work this in diagonally to check for any sort of areas that need to be connected right there. Just that little bit right here. Now coming in through here again, looking for the clues. And let's see if I find anything right here. Where is it? Nope, not much. Which means that I've done a good job. If I'm not cutting a whole lot of hair, that means that I did a really good job on this side. All right, so there we go. Beautiful. And there's still one more side to do. So let's do the other side together. And let me know, once again, it means a lot to me, and thank you all so much for everyone who's been commenting, and Steven, thanks for going back to your roots. I've been, using your haircuts to, cut my husband's hair or my wife's, whatever it is. It really means a lot. And if you want to pay me back, right, if there's anything, I have my own hair products, right? I also have haircutting guides, digital ebooks you can purchase. Anything that I have full haircutting courses, private courses that are like, $60, $70, where it feels like it's one-on-one training, no ads, no distractions. You can purchase courses.thesalonguy.com. You can go there too. Courses.thesalonguy.com. I revamped all that stuff. So I got a lot of cool stuff to offer, and I'd appreciate it if you all check that stuff out. All right, so here we go. Working on the corner now, right into the front. I'm standing in front. I didn't change my body position. I'm standing right in front, right here, able to hold on to that hair, hold on for dear life, and look at all that hair. Boom, all that hair needs to come off. If you see it, you got to get rid of it. But you want to make sure that you're getting rid of the right part, because you don't want to be getting rid of hair that's you need to keep. Okay, so here we are in the front, and once again, I'm kind of combing this back because of the corner, the hairline. If you don't, you're going to get a huge hole. So you want to make sure that you kind of extend back a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to cut this on the angle right here, just like so. Let's move this out of the way. And there's that part. Let's go down. Nothing there, good. Let's work our way down here. And nothing really there, which is good. And this is what I'm looking for right here. Boom. Okay, down again, diagonal. Nothing. And when I say I'm not cutting anything, yeah, that's cool. That means it's like pretty much perfect. But at the same time, you know, you want to always constantly be looking, right? Always looking. All right, here we go. Big chunk of hair right there. Boom. Let's comb this out. And yes, we're getting that flow. We're getting those feathered layers coming in nicely. Let's go back in the very, very front. I do want to check the length. And this is where we get to really make this even better. So look, there's a huge chunk of hair right here. And I'm cutting this off because it's too long. So I'm going to angle my fingers upwards. I'm going to check this on the other side as well. And there we go. I've strengthened that entire line up right there and made it better. And this has happened before in the past on clients. You know, you can see if this is too long, it looks too much like a bob, like a woman's haircut. And you don't really necessarily want that all the time, right? If you do, that's cool. But I've always noticed that cutting this shorter always works better. Now watch this. It's going to pop up right there. There it is. See it? Right there. Boom. Get rid of that sucker. Here we go. There it is. Bam. It's gonna like jump out at you and be like, hey, here I am, cut me. Be like, Rocky, hey, cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick. It's over, Rock. All right, here we go. Here we go. And by the way, some of you who don't know this, if you've been watching and engaged this whole time, you know, I'm known to my friends, and you know, my whole life I've been known as just, you know, being funny, class clown. Oh, I should be a comedian, all that kind of stuff. I do some impressions, and I take pride in my impressions. I haven't, you know, I've done some joke videos here, some shorts where I do like, you know, little stupid stand-up jokes and one-liners and stuff. But like, I do some impressions, like. The best thing, if you want to hear the best Rocky impression, Sylvester Stallone, I'm just going to say this one thing as if I was Sylvester Stallone, and it's going to be the best impression you've ever heard. Ready? That's it. Is that the funniest sounding, like, like how fun, that's all. If I had to do stand-up in a club, I would just walk up and go, and then walk out. And I also do President Trump, okay? Everybody thinks they're me, but they're not, okay? Crooked press, the crooked press, all right? They think they can just ask any questions and make it fake news, but they can't, okay? And by the way, I do the best haircut tutorials ever, the best, all right? So, watch my videos, subscribe, and you're going to like it, okay? You're going to like it, and watch more and more, buy my products. They're beautiful products, yes. See, I take pride in my Trump impression, too. So, I do some pretty good impressions. Sorry about that. I had to go on and on. And once I start, I can't stop. So, let's go back to the haircut. All right, so let's check. This is the most important part, is this right here. So I'm combing this up, and there we go. Checking to see for the balance, and there it is, just those little pieces right there. This part right here is what really makes the flow kind of work together, you know? This is what makes the flow work together beautifully. Makes it work so nice, so beautiful. And there we go. See what I mean? I can't stop. All right, here we go. There it is. Great. Now, and I tend to cut wet into dry. So what I'm going to do now is, because this hair is so thick, I'm going to remove some of this weight. Now, this is a do it at your own risk scenario, okay? This is a do it at your own risk, but I'm going to go in and feel for where the bulk is and just go crazy. I'm going to go crazy, and I'm going to remove a lot of that weight, right? I'm moving it throughout the bottom. And that's the thing about this hair. Look at all this hair. I'm using thinning shears. This is not done with regular hair cutting shears. This is done with thinning shears. And this is best to be done on thick hair. I wouldn't do it necessarily on wavy hair, right? Wavy hair, the layering itself will help get rid of a lot of that weight. But I'm doing this on straight hair and very, very thick straight hair. So I'm literally feeling for the heaviness. Right? I'm feeling for the heaviness, and that is what I'm really trying to focus on when using this technique. It's a freehand technique. The hair is like, I would say, 60% dry, 70% dry in some areas, even 80% dry, even right here, okay? It's pretty dry in some areas, so, all right, here we go. Let's get this right in the middle there. Now, we've got 25 spray in already. I'm going to use Tidal Wave, my #1 selling sea salt product, sea salt spray. Shake it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spritzes. That's all I've used, folks. You know, unlike a lot of other products, you need 46 spritzes. Mine is designed to be used as if you were a professional, because guess what? It was formulated under my direction as a hair professional, okay? All right, here we go. Now, what I want to do is just comb the hair out, because there's going to be a lot of hair coming out because of what I thinned so much. So when you do a lot of the thinning, just be prepared to have hair flying all over the place and coming out of the head, because there was so much weight removed, all right? And we are going to stick with the center parting. Now I'm going to use my blow dryer. This is my Ionic blow dryer that just came back in stock because I was down to like 2. And I think today the new shipment is going to be in, so they're back ready to be shipped, because thankfully you all keep buying them. And I've made the upgrade to this. I even told them to make the magnetic attachment even stronger. Let's hope they did that, because I want to keep improving this. But here we go. All right, now, as far as products go, and there's a couple things I'm going to do here before we move on, is I'm going to use my carbon comb. This is a carbon comb I sell on my website. Listen to this thing. It is a solid carbon comb. And the reason I'm going to do this is I simply want to just comb through this hair to accentuate the layers right here and just loosen up the shape a bit. So there we go. Now the flow is really coming in this way, right? You can see middle part, the hair's going back a little bit like this. And let's just comb this throughout the back here. The shape looks perfect. We got great layering in through here. There you can see the back, all the movement. Let's go on this side. Let's brush this all back like so. And, you know, are there shorter variations of this? Of course. But I know like a lot of you like seeing longer lengths, haircuts like this. So I figured why not? Now, as far as the products go, here's what we can do. Let's try to get this straight. There we go. There it is. There it is. Straight. Okay. So I'm going to use my, and I am working on a couple new products, like a texture cream and a new clay. I had a product years ago called Earth Clay, and it was just this amazing, like soft, light, gritty, just incredible clay. This is Shadow right here. I'm working this into the hands. It's a really, really light hold. And that's what I want for this, is I want it to be really, really tamed. So keep working it all the way through to make sure it dissolves and gets through it. And that's how you're gonna break the product down. And then you're just gonna work it through like so. This is incredible for taming the hair, just like that, especially for flyaways and things like that. And there we go. So it's giving you like that lived-in type of look, okay, which is making it like, it's like a pomade. That's what it is. It's a cream grit kind of not really so gritty, but it's a cream pomade, right? And that's what it's designed to do, is just really tame down the hair and give the hair that like really nice flow and that nice shape. So what I'm going to do is take this off, and I'm going to show this to you all by hand. As you can see, check out the layers. You can see it's got that nice, there's the flow right there, folks. There's the flow. There's the flow. You can see it. There it is. Right, and it flows back into the length. There's the back. And by brushing this down, you can see all the layers are there, but keep in mind this will come down in the face if it's this long, right? So you got to be okay with the hair coming down in the face, or if you want, you rake it back like that, and it's going to just stay right in place as far as like a natural kind of layered flow, all right? So I know a lot of you like the center part like this. You seem to want these types of haircuts, and I think this was awesome, right? Pretty cool. So if you want to purchase any of my products, you can click on the View Products link right here. And I really would appreciate your support, whether it's buying my products, my ebooks, you know, ongoing education. Because I really want you to have the best experience when getting your haircut, understanding how to get better haircuts, what haircuts are, different shapes, things like that. That's all available in my ebooks. I have ones for men's hair, one for women's hair. If you want to purchase any of my products, you can use a special code, YouTube20. That's 20% off, and that's if you go directly to shop.thesalonguy.com. Once again, YouTube20, shop.thesalonguy.com, exclusive code just for you here on YouTube. Let me know if you like this haircut, you have it, and let me know if you like when I do me. Nobody does me better than me, okay? But let me know if you enjoyed my impressions, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.